What's up, guys? It's UFC Macau. I hope I'm saying that right. It's over in China. So just to let you guys know, the hometown fighters, there's going to be a lot of hometown fighters here. So for a betting perspective, keep that in mind. This is going to be the breakdown, though, of the full card from top to bottom. We're up a tremendous amount in UFC right now. We're up a tremendous amount in NBA, tremendous amount in NFL. Everything's tracked, and quite honestly, I think we're probably, I don't want to get too cocky or ahead of myself or jinx myself, but I would say we're one of the more successful bettors out there. And the year's almost over, and that's what it's showing so far. Hopefully we have another successful event here. I'm excited for the next events coming up. UFC Macau. God, if I'm saying this shit wrong, I swear to God. We have PFL the weekend after, UFC 310, UFC Tampa with Colby and Buckley. I want to say there's also Brave with Muhammad Mukayev, who's going to be fighting. So there's a lot coming up. It's an exciting end of the year. Yeah, it's going to be one take. I'm not going to try to edit and all this shit, so let's just get straight into the video. For the first fight, we got a Maheshate taking on Nikolas Motta. This is a fight I can care less about between two low-level guys. And when I wrote that, at the time I wrote this in my Patreon, not so true no more, but they are pretty low-level. But I will say this could be an exciting kickoff to the card. Maheshate is a very fun fighter who likes to show off when he is striking, which is definitely fun to watch, but he's not the best striker. He gets hit a lot, and he has terrible takedown defense when fighting guys that will wrestle. Motta won't be that guy, though. He is also a striker who does not throw a lot of volume at all, and is kill or be killed type of fighter, which sets up this card with it being so early over here in the States. Sets it up perfect, that's what I'm going to say. Someone is going to get finished here, and I expect it to be Nikolas Motta, as Maheshate will be the bigger fighter in this matchup. And I just think he's the better striker. But yeah, I expect him to catch Motta pretty early, as I believe he'll be the better striker. Yeah, like I said. So Maheshate, he has some big wins, right? He has, well, a big win over Steve Garcia, where he knocked him out. Yeah, right there. He knocked him out. He just caught him. Realistically, though, Steve Garcia was just being a careless idiot. He should have just taken him down. It was a very easy path to victory. We did bet Garcia here. I want to say we bet Borshev against him as well. Nikolas Motta, he has that win over freaking Tom Nolan, which I'm like, Tom Nolan's, he's not very good. So it's, yeah. But there is a thing. This might be the time it finally ends or whatever. But if you look from the beginning of the year, whenever there's a hometown fighter, that's the very first fight on the card, that hometown fighter always wins. Always. 100% of the time. I think it's 100% of the time. I have to double check. But I've been telling you guys about this all year. To bet the very first fighter on the card, that's the hometown guy. We cashed the underdog. I want to say we bet the underdog. I forget. It was on the UK card where Joanderson Brito lost to William Gomez, I think. Yeah, I think it was that card. But he's like a plus 250 dog. I don't know why I'm blanking. I'm hella forgetting his name. But dude, he won like first round sub. And I'm like, every single card where the hometown fighter kicks it off, he's always winning. So we have to go with Maheshate here. We actually placed a bet on Maheshate. Everything's in the Patreon if you want to see exactly how we broke every little thing down. Yeah, we're going Maheshate here. I just think he's the better striker. He's going to be really big, a lot longer and taller. I think Motta's going to struggle there. So I have Maheshate by KO, round 1 or 2. So this is another fight I'm pretty excited for. We got Xiao versus Quang, and I'm not going to spoil it. I'll just get straight to the reading. This is a fight where I definitely see value. Quang is the dog here, and I just quite frankly think he is the better fighter. Sorry for spoiling the pick, but I'll break the fighters down right now. Quang is a Muay Thai style striker who has been fighting in the LFA in the States, meaning United States, fighting solid guys, whereas Xiao has been fighting a lot over in China against very low-level guys. And you could see by the record, Xiao 26-9, Quang 8-1. But it's like 26-9 versus tomato cans, 8-1 versus legitimate competition. You know what I mean? Quang Lee will be wanting to keep this fight on the feet here, as he is a good striker who is very explosive, which can get him nasty finishes. Xiaocan is a fighter who always finds himself in trouble and getting beat, but uses his toughness and durability to try and push his way to a win. Lee should be the better fighter here and should be able to stop the takedowns. I expect Quang Lee to pick up a win here, as he'll do the more damage on the feet while defending the takedowns. So this is a tough one. Well, it's not really a tough one. I have Quang Lee winning, but the tough part is like Quang Lee is a finisher. Xiaocan gets touched up. He gets hit. He gets put through adversity. Let's just say that. He always finds a way to tough his way out. But again, this is where value comes in, because you don't necessarily know. Like, I was leaning decision, but then you see the value like KOs plus 750, someone said to me. So I'm like, Xiaocan surviving against absolute ducks, right? Like, he's not fighting good people and he's surviving. So when you're fighting a good fighter who's fought legitimate competition in the States, in Quang Lee, and like I said, Chris Gutierrez, he stepped down like a week's notice, maybe a few days' notice, and he looked good in that fight for, you know what I mean? So yeah, I think if the KO is really, because it's not up on my sports book, but if the KO really is plus 750, I'm taking Quang Lee here by KO. I just think the value is like ridiculous. Like last week, we cashed in on we had Jake Paul's decision plus 300. We had Bo Nickal's decision plus 1,000. I liked Ruffy's decision at plus 275. I just didn't play it. Maybe it's 225. I just didn't play it, which is unfortunate. No, I did play it, actually. I did have it on my Patreon. Yeah, so we had Ruffy's decision, Jake Paul's decision, Bo Nickal's decision. I just didn't solo prop the Jake decision. I didn't solo prop the Ruffy decision. Stupid on my part. Yeah, so we're finding values and props, you know what I mean? Yeah, give me Quang Lee here. We're going to take the KO, sprinkle it a little bit. We already bet on Quang Lee. We have him in some parlays. If you guys want to check out the parlays, they pay out pretty big. I will say this isn't a card I'm expecting to make crazy-ass bank on. I'm not super confident in these Chinese fighters, as they're not as talented as a lot of these other guys, you could say. Maybe I'm wrong. We'll see after this weekend. But we'll get to the next fight. So, I mean, I guess I kind of already fucked up, right? With what I just said, that they're not as talented. You look at Loner Kavanagh, this dude is talented. Like, he's really talented. So you got Loner Kavanagh taking on Jose Ochoa, both undefeated. Loner Kavanagh says he's from China on here. I want to say I might get this. One of his parents is Chinese. I want to say Chinese. The other one's from the UK. So he's got an interesting little mix there, but he's really good. Loner Kavanagh is from the Contender Series, where he looked really good and got the first round knockout. He is a striker, and the thing that most stands out in his striking is his speed. His speed's ridiculous. His power's there, but he isn't really going to be known as a knockout guy. In his last 5 fights, he only has 1 finish in the first 2 rounds. He is more of a decision guy and a late finisher once he realizes his opponents are done. Jose Ochoa is making his UFC debut here, and he is a well-rounded guy. He has decent striking, where he likes to push volume, and has decent wrestling. But I think you need to be elite somewhere to beat someone like Loner Kavanagh. I don't think Ochoa's wrestling will be good enough to get Kavanagh down here consistently and hold him there. And on the feet, Ochoa does have the volume going for him, but Loner's striking, man. His striking is just way too good. Quite frankly, I didn't throw him in my safety parlay. I'm really regretting that I did it, because I got the other 2 I got in there. They both should win. I just think Loner's so much more skilled than both of them. He should have been in there. I picked a less skilled guy. And we'll get to it later in the video. I picked a less skilled guy, which he should win. I mean, it's not his debut. That's part of the reasons, because Loner Kavanagh's his debut, but it's 2 debutees. I don't even know if that shit made sense. Yeah, I don't know. I could switch it. It's not too late, because the odds did get juiced, which sucks. We'll see what I do, though. My guy that I have in the safety parlay should win. The only problem I have with him is he gets hit a lot, and that could be an issue because he's not that good. But I think he's a lot better than his opponent. So, yeah. We'll get to the next fight, though. We have Carlos Hernandez versus Nyamjargal to Mandemberol. That's the best I'm saying. I'm just going to call him Nyam. It's easier to say. I'm not going to sit here and fucking say that name the whole time. So yeah, we're just going to call him Nam, like I said. He is undefeated at 8-0 with 7 finishes, including 5 submission wins. He is a wild fighter who has solid jiu-jitsu and some decent power, as we have seen him sleep people. He does have really bad cardio issues, though, as we have seen 2 fights ago where he won by split decision. Carlos Hernandez is one of those UFC fighters who have taken on really tough fighters so early on into his career. He is coming off back-to-back losses to Why do I forget how to say his name? Suruya. He's really good, by the way. And Tatsuro Taira, who are both really good fighters. He is not the best fighter, but he is tough, as he has some solid technical boxing and much better cardio in this matchup. I personally think the cardio issues and sloppiness of Niam will really be exposed in this matchup. So give me Carlos Hernandez here in this one with low confidence. He is the -200 favorite. I don't know if I'm going to touch this one. Probably not. I'll probably stay away. But we'll just get to the next fight because I don't really have much to say here, to be honest. All right, for this one, we got Feng Xiaocan versus Ming Shi. Feng is a really good female prospect from China who is only 22 years old, which is crazy when you see her skill set on full display. She has a lot of length that she knows how to use with her very clean striking and can also work in her wrestling. She has very poor takedown defense, but she does try to get back to her feet and has shown a decent get-up game. Also, her opponent here won't be shooting takedowns. Ming Shi is a striker who likes to close the distance and stay in the pocket to use her volume in boxing. She has very poor takedown defense as well, but a fantastic get-up game. I expect Feng to just be the better striker in this matchup and to really be able to utilize her range to piece up Ming Shi here. She's one of my more confident picks on the card. I don't think she's losing. If you see her striking, it's very clean. She's very long. Ming Shi, she's not as long. She's not really the prospect they're looking to push, but at the end of the day, that doesn't really matter because they got to fight anyways. Feng should win this fight, though, all day. She has the better, cleaner striking. She'll be able to keep her at range. Who knows if she wants to hold her up against the fence, make it boring, she could do that. She's going to have the strength advantage. Ming Shi's just going to come in with her sloppy volume. And you're going to see Feng just boom, boom, just piece her up 1, 2. That straight right down the fucking middle is nasty. And you're going to see it this Saturday at 12 in the morning, 3 in the morning, whenever this shit starts. It starts hella early. Yeah, she should win this. It's one of my most confident picks, like I said. Also, may or may not be in the safety parlay. So this is a cool fight here. We got Kiru Sahota versus Dong Hoon Choi. Kiru Sahota is a long striker who likes to use a lot of volume as his power really is not there. You will also see him really try to utilize his range to try and fight at his own pace, as we have seen him struggle a little bit when the fight is brought to him. Dong Hoon Choi is a solid striker who can also mix in takedowns with some pretty good timing. He has a good chin and some good cardio to really take over fights the later they go. I like Dong Hoon Choi here as I believe he will be the better striker as long as having the better cardio in this matchup. And I think that's really what's going to win him rounds is his ability to mix in takedowns. In that third round, I really expect to be his as I just think the cardio is going to be better. And cardio really matters when you have young up-and-coming fighters like this, especially when they aren't like they're brought from the road to UFC. So yeah, give me Dong Hoon Choi here. I don't have any bets on him currently. We'll see what I do with it, but it's probably a stay away from me. So this is the last fight on the prelims. We got SuYoung taking on Balgyn Jenisuly. SuYoung is a relentless grappler who will shoot 1,000,000 takedowns a fight, who loves to make his advances on the ground, which is always a good sign, especially against someone who gasses out. His striking is not really good at all, to be honest. Balgyn is more well-rounded here in this matchup, B is more of a striker. He's a longer fighter who will like to pressure and occasionally shoot for a takedown. I'm going with U here, as I think SuYoung Yu, as I think he has that relentless style. We have seen Balgyn gas out before in his previous fights, which goes hand in hand for SuYoung Yu. I like his second or third round submission here in this fight, as I believe first round might be a little bit of struggle. Balgyn might be able to stop some takedowns and stuff. But once he gasses out, SuYoung Yu is going to come forward and press the fucking gas. He's going to wear him out, tire him out. Second or third round submission is my prediction. But you never know. This is Road to UFC. A lot of these Chinese fighters, I'm not as familiar as I am with all these other fighters. I'm not as good with Chinese fighters. That's my prediction. I'm pretty confident that's what happens. I don't have a bet currently on SuYoung Yu. But if you do want to place a bet, I would go with him, and I would also throw in second or third round submission. To open up the main card, we have Ozzy Diaz taking on Zhang Mingyang. Zhang is a very powerful striker who is a straight finisher. He is a kill or be killed type of fighter, and that is very obvious just by looking at his Sherdog record. All finishes except maybe one. I forget. I'd have to look again. Here we go. He has 23 fights and only one goes past the second round, with 90% of them being finished in the first round, which is ridiculous. He is coming off that brutal knockout win over Brenson Ribeiro in the first round. We'll talk about that after. Ozzy is a middleweight who is moving up a weight class and has issues with his chin as it is, which may be a very big problem in this matchup. He will strike in this matchup and is also a kill or be killed type of fighter. You can see his record as he has never been to a third round. He has been finished in the Contender Series by Joe Pyfer. He was finished in the Contender Series by Joe Pyfer in the second round, where he didn't do much of anything. You'll also see he got submitted by Dominic Reyes in the amateurs, which is a little bit of a fun fact. I have Zhang here all day, as I think he's the better striker, and I think he'll be able to control the cage and get Diaz backing up until he can find the knockout blow in front of his hometown crowd. Yeah, so Mingyang Zhang, when he fought Brenson Ribeiro, he was getting touched up a lot. He does get hit a lot. He has a really good chin. He's really big for this weight class. I think he's going to be the much bigger fighter here. Let me X some of this stuff out. I do believe he'll be the much bigger fighter here. Let's see. Do they have their reach? I mean, it looks about the same, actually. And Ozzy Diaz looks taller. I don't think it matters. I think Zhang will be able to control this fight wherever it goes. He's going to cut the cage off, find the knockout after getting touched up a little bit. That's the part that scares me. But the UFC set this up to open up the main card for a reason. They do not want the Chinese prospect to lose, opening up the main card in China. That's just not what it is. The UFC owes this guy nothing. They're bringing him in to get slept, and that's really what it is. If he gets the upset, he gets the upset. You know what I mean? I don't see it happening. Mingyang Zhang, one of my highest confident picks on the card. Another super exciting fight. Volkan Oezdemir taking on Carlos Ulberg. I can't wait for this fight. Carlos Ulberg is a nasty kickboxer coming out of Israel Adesanya's fight camp. He is 7-1 in the UFC and should be 8-0 after losing a very fluky fight to Kennedy Njoku after emptying his gas tank in round 1, which doesn't really mean Ulberg gasses. What happened? It was his second fight, maybe first fight in the UFC. He just came in and he was beating the living shit out of Kennedy, just beating the fucking pulp out of him. I don't know how he survived. He survived though. Carlos just gassed. I mean, because he was throwing everything into his punch. He threw like 100-something punches in the first round. Maybe that's a lie, actually. He threw a lot, though, in the first round. But yeah, I mean, most people would gas out from something like that. If you could see in his all his other fights, he was very patient. It was just rookie mistake, you know what I mean? He's very patient. He's not overloading. He picks his shots, conserves his energy. So I don't think you have to worry about the gas tank. Unless he's really just being wrestle-fucked, to be honest. But anyways, where was I? I lost where I was at. So he's coming off a first-round knockout over Alonzo Menafield, which was very impressive. Volkan Oezdemir, who is a big step up, is a really good striker, but has lost the striking battle to multiple people. All of his losses, though, are very good losses. He is 3-3 in his last 6, coming off that win over Johnny Walker. I think Ulberg's just going to win this fight. I see he'll be the better striker in this matchup. He's going to be faster, more precise. He's a fucking kickboxer. I think he's one of the best strikers Volkan Oezdemir's ever fought. And I think Oezdemir is going to have to fight using his wrestling. He's going to have to try to wrestle Ulberg, and I just don't think his wrestling is good enough. I don't think his takedowns are good enough. I don't think he's efficient enough with them to get Carlos Ulberg down. And I can't say that I know for a fact. This is why he's a medium confidence pick on my Patreon. I can't say I know for a fact his takedown defense is elite. Can't say his get-up game's elite. You look at his fight camp, though. Alexander Volkanovski, Israel Adesanya, Dan Hooker. What do they all have in common? They all have a good get-up game. They all have solid takedown defense. Why wouldn't you think the same thing from Carlos Ulberg? He trains with those guys. There's a chance it's just absolute dog shit he loses this fight. I don't think so. I don't buy it. I believe he'll be good enough here. As I just don't think Oezdemir has the wrestling to beat Carlos Ulberg. I think that's his only chance. Give me Carlos Ulberg here all day. He should win this fight. And then get his title shot after this. Another setup fight here. You got Wang Cong taking on Gabriella Fernandes. Wang is a very good prospect who has already made her UFC debut with a bang, knocking out Victoria Leonardo in the first round. She's a fantastic kickboxer who's most known for her kickboxing win over Valentina Shevchenko, who is one of the greatest mixed martial artists of all time. Gabriella Fernandes is 1-2 in the UFC, coming off that war with Carly Judas where she won a split decision, but Carly Judas is not the striker Wang Cong is. Fernandes really struggles with defending takedowns, but I don't think that'll matter in this matchup much. She's a powerful striker with some solid striking on the feet. Wang will not lose this fight as she's a way better striker here. And like I said, Gabriella Fernandes went to a split decision that she could have lost in a striking match against Carly Judas, who isn't nearly as good as a striker as Wang Cong. So yeah, give me Wang here as she's one of my most confident picks. Probably my most confident pick. I'm not touching her though because this is not the fucking line she's at. She's at like negative 1,200 or something. She's going to win this fight. I just don't know if she wins by decision. She wins by knockout. I would say decision. So if you want to play something, play her by decision. And if your book has it, do round 3 decision if the line's not too fucking juiced or whatever, just to be safe. Because Gabriella Fernandes has shown that she can slow down. So, but I will say her slowing down in that fight, I think most girls would have because that fucking pace was ridiculous. So yeah, that's what I would do there. All right, so we got Song Kenan taking on Muslim Salikov. Song Kenan is a striker who, quite frankly, is just not very good. He has power in his hands and he will beat the Ducks in the UFC, but he'll never beat anyone that is halfway decent. His striking defense is very poor, and I think that may be a problem here in this one. Muslim Salikov is a pretty good kickboxer who can also wrestle. He had a record of 185-13 as a kickboxer and was also the first non-Chinese fighter to win the Wushu Sanda's King's Cup. His striking style is as you would think. He is a point fighter who likes to fight his way to decisions, but he can put people out occasionally. I like Muslim Salikov here as I just think he'll be better everywhere in my opinion. My only issue here is that Muslim Salikov is getting older and it is definitely showing. He is not the same guy he used to be, but he should still pick up a win here. So he's just basically, he's not as fast anymore. He's not as like his, why am I blanking so fucking much? His, dude, I am blanking right now. Like when his reaction time is definitely slowed down. He's just so much more skilled than Song Kenan here. Song Kenan is just not very good. Like, he doesn't have good wins. He really doesn't have good wins at all. So, at least Salikov still beating Santiago Ponzinibbio, I think is better than Song Kenan. Yeah, he's definitely been slowing down though. This could go either way, but give me Muslim Salikov. I just think he's more skilled fighter, and I'm going to take that all day of the week, even if he is slowing down. So the co-main event of the evening, we got Yan Xiaonan taking on Baby Shark Tabitha Ritchie. Before you guys start complaining, this is actually a really good fight that I like a lot. Yan is a really good striker, but just has absolutely no takedown defense. She's 2-3 in her last 5, with 2 of those losses coming to champions in Carlos Barza and Weili Zhang. The other loss was to Marina Rodriguez, who was also pretty damn good. Richie is very good on the ground, but can struggle to get the fight down there at times. She also has average striking, but pours out a lot of volume. She will be there in your face for all 3 rounds, looking to get takedowns while dishing out a ton of volume or keeping you against the cage. This is a very tough fight here to predict. So I'll break it down this way, and you could take my prediction how you want, or my breakdowns how you want. If you think Richie could get the takedowns and could possibly keep the control, if she could get the takedown, she could get the fight to the ground, she could do her damage, find the sub, she's going to win. I think if Jan keeps this fight on the feet, there's no way she loses this fight. Obviously, Tabitha's going to have the volume and all this, whatever. She's going to be more precise. Jan is. Jan's going to be more precise. She's going to be landing the better shots. And at the end of the day, if this fight is really close, it's in China. They're going to lean for Jan Xiaonan. They're not going to give a split decision or a close fight decision to Tabitha Richie. It's just, if Tabitha Richie dominates, you pick her, if that's what you think. But I don't think, I'm going Jan Xiaonan. I just think she's going to get the hometown nod here. Even though I love Tabitha Richie and that's who I'm going to be rooting for. Give me Jan Xiaonan. Give me your by decision here. Now for the main event, we got a banger. We got Peter Yan taking on Davison Figueiredo. Freaking Figgy and Yan, man. I've been waiting for a fight like this for a minute. 5 rounds because it's the main event, obviously. But some people, I know you guys don't. Some people don't know that. They don't pay attention to UFC as much. They just watch this video because they want some bets or something, you know what I mean? So yeah, we got Peter Yan, a former champion, is a very short striker with some solid takedown defense. And in my opinion, he has the best striking in the division behind Sean O'Malley, which is very impressive because he can also wrestle. And I think it's O'Malley and Yan. I think they're neck and neck. I don't think O'Malley's better. I don't think Yan better. I think they're right here. No, I'll take that back. I think, yeah, O'Malley has the better striking by a tad, by a little bit. Because what made that fight so close is Jan's takedowns. But I'll say, yeah, O'Malley has the better striking. So he's 1. I think Peter Yan's 2. Yan is 1-3 in his last 4 fights, but all those losses were to the champions. And 2 of those losses he easily could have won. Against Aljo, he could have won. O'Malley, he could have won. Very close. I do think he lost those fights. They're very close. He is coming off that win to Song Yadong, where he looked very good. And we cashed in on that with insane value. Figgy is also a former champion in the flyweight division, coming off 3 straight wins at bantamweight, recently beating Chito Marlon Vera. Figgy is a well-rounded guy who is more known for his grappling, which is very good. I just gotta say, I need some water because whatever fucking tones I'm making right now, I need help. Yeah, Figgy also has very solid striking with some nasty power, but Figgy's only issue is that he gasses out and he struggles against guys with ridiculous chins over 5 rounds like a Brandon Moreno or Peter Yan, right? So what I think Yan he has good takedown defense. I think the first round Figgy might take it because Yan very slow, he wants to read his opponents, make his reads. I would live bet Yan after the first round if the value's there. Maybe after the second. I think this could be a close fight, but I see Peter Yan picking up rounds 3, 4, and 5. I think he'll be able to take over late. And he's going to get that decision win. I just think this is a bad matchup for Figgy. Figgy, I don't think if Aljo's not submitting Peter Yan, I understand Aljo's not a finisher. He's really not. He's not a finisher. So I can't say that. I don't think Figgy could finish Peter Yan, though, in the first 2 rounds. I really don't. And I see Peter Yan picking up rounds 3, 4, and 5 to win a 48-47 with maybe 149-46 scorecard in there. Because I feel like rounds 1 and 2 are going to be close, especially round 2. So that's my pick on this card. And I might have my most confident picks video out tomorrow. We'll see what I do. But before I go, I just want to thank you guys all for watching. I want to thank you guys for the support on the Patreon. We're up tremendous. It's down here somewhere. We're coming off the $558 weekend. We had a 10-1 with the Bo Nickel decision. We hit Ruffy's decision. We hit Jake Paul's decision. We hit Jake Paul in round 2 to start. We got value in John Jones to complete round 1. Like, we did our thing out there for sure. Our parlay of the week was like plus 304. It was Jake Paul, Jones, and Miocic to complete round 1, and Bo Nickel to win, and round 2 to start, which was plus money as well. So we hit a lot on there. We gave you guys just nothing but value. A lot of our people cashed this weekend. Go check out our Instagram. You can see what members are cashing. It's in the highlighted section. You could see when you click on the post that I posted, all the people that cashed and all that. We're also tearing it up in NFL. We have $2,400 profit, $2,500 profit in NFL, one of those. Been very successful. NBA, we're doing very good. So far, so good for NBA. We look good as of right now. But that's it. That's all I have for you guys. I'm going to go catch this NFL game, and I'll see you guys in the next video.